Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Cassie. Today I am hanging out with the Brutus Monroe Inspiration team and we are doing a blog hop, and this one the challenge was DecoFoil. So I'm going to use some of the new Orange Sketch DecoFoil along with some of the toner sheets in Brutus Monroe in the shop. And so we're going to start off by putting one of those toner sheets in a piece of copy paper, putting the DecoFoil over the top, and then we're going to run that through my laminator a few times. And I love the look of this. So if you've never done the toner sheets or if you've never done any sort of foiling before, I use an Amazon Basics laminator and I run mine through my machine about 3 or 4 times before I peel it off. But isn't that incredible? Even the leftover piece is incredible. So cool. So I've got a piece of Not Your Mama's heavyweight cardstock, and I am going to score that at 5.5 inches. This is going to be a top folding A2 size card, so that will closed measure 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And then I'm going to take this acetate sheet and I'm going to just glue that directly to my card base. I plan to make a shaker, and to do so I need to get this down, and so I can put my glue just all over the back where the black is, and just putting it in some spots. You don't have to put it where all the black is, just some spots. And then I'm just going to stick that right down to my card base. I just can't get over how cool that orange sketch is. I've grabbed a piece of paper from the Haunted Mansion paper stack, and I'm going to take 3 of my dies, 3 circle dies, 3 different sizes, and I'm just going to tape those down to the front. These are going to be little windows. And then I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. And then I'll be able to put that over the top, and that's how those little jack-o'-lanterns are going to peek through. I didn't like it like this. I felt like it needed some sort of a border, so I grabbed some Glitterstock in the color Sterling, and I'm going to put one of my rectangle dies over the top of that so that I can have this nice border. So that Glitterstock measures 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, but then I'm going to cut the center out, and now I'll have this really nice border. For my sentiment, I'm trying to figure out which one I want, and I decide I want the Happy Halloween from the Trick or Treat stamp. I'm using a piece of Raven cardstock, and I'm going to ink that up with embossing ink, and then I'll just stamp that down after I had run my magic powder bag over the top. And then I'm going to use this beautiful Sterling Sparkle embossing powder, and that's going to be gorgeous. Just run that over there, just pour it over, and then we'll heat set that till that is smooth and melted, but it has this beautiful like glittery bit to it. It's so pretty. If you like their Sterling, you're going to love their Sterling Sparkle. Now I'm going to trim down my sentiment just a little bit off the bottom, and then right up at the top. And then I'll decide how I want to put this, because it's going to have to go under that border. I thought about trimming, and then I decided we'll tear it. Haven't done that in a hot minute. And then when I've decided where I want my stuff, I'll start adhering everything with some liquid glue. And I do have some of that hanging off, but don't worry, I'll trim that off later. And then I'll use that same liquid glue to adhere down my border. And this just adds just a little bit of an extra touch to it. And I love Brutus Monroe's Glitterstock. We'll just stick that down, and I'm going to set things off to the side to dry before I trim off that piece of black. Now, I do want to make this a shaker, so I have this giant pack of Write-On Transparency Film by Apollo. And no, you would not want to do any sort of embossing on it. You will melt this. So I just trimmed this down. I use these just for shakers. And I'll have everything that I've used listed down below in the description box. But I'm putting a healthy amount of glue all around the outside. And then I'm just going to take my transparency film that I trimmed down to fit perfectly. And then we'll just stick that right on top and kind of press in those areas to make sure that that glue adheres pretty well. And voila, the top is ready to go. And now we're going to start doing the shaker bits. So in order to do this, I've used some Scotch foam tape that I fold in half. This is nothing new, but if you are new to all this, this is how it's done. I fold it in half, and I have found that the Scotch foam tape is the best for this, for shaker cards in this case. And then you want to peel off the top and the bottom release paper, because I'm going to go all around those circles. This way you can manipulate that foam tape to do exactly what you need it to do. And how fortuitous, it fits right around. And if you plan to use like glitter or fine anything, you want to make sure that your edges are just flush to each other. You don't want to leave any space. But because I'm not doing anything really crazy like that, I'm not as concerned about it. As long as the pieces stay somewhat where they're supposed to be. So yeah, and then I'll add double-sided foam tape, and I'll have doubled it up all over the rest, because I like to make sure that my shaker cards are good and, you know, substantial. All right, so now you want to make sure that you peel off all of your backing paper before you put any of your shaker bits in there, because sometimes that release paper sticks and it'll pull, and then you have a hard time getting your sequin stuff to stay where it is. I'm going to fill this up with some micro pearls in each of those little circles, and then I've got this bag of sequins. Don't even know where they came from. I'm just going to put a few of those in there because they're Halloween color. Don't want it to go too crazy, but I'll just put a few in there. And then I will open up my card base, and then I'm going to look from the bottom and try to get that down, because once you put it down, it's down, and you'll destroy it if you try and take it apart. So I'm rubbing really, really well to make sure that it's good and adhered, and that's going to finish off our card. So as I said, this is a part of a blog hop, so you're going to want to, I have the link down below to my blog. You're going to want to hop on over there so you can take a look at what everybody has been up to. And if you liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by.